Welcome back, conscious creators, to week 2 of the Christos Chronicles. Now you see me, now you don't. The Magician. Now, for those of you who didn't have the opportunity to check out week 1, where we discussed the full tarot card, I would highly recommend you take the time out to do so, because some of the points that I'm going to be discussing today are in direct correlation with week 1's topic, which was the Fool's Tarot card. Now, in week 1, I did pretty much give context in regards to all of the topics that we will be discussing, how to stay in touch with me, and pretty much what I want you guys to take away from each episode. Now, for clarity's sake, I will not be talking about tarot cards every week, but I feel as though today is a great follow-up due to my own personal experience from the past couple of days. And that's really what I want you guys to know when it comes to me curating these videos. These are not thought out topics. These are not thought out concepts. This is just me going with the natural occurrence and flow and experiences that I'm going through every week and how they apply to us and what we can learn from them. So with that being said, I hope that you guys can see the mirror in your reality too as well from listening to these videos, because I am a firm believer in when we take leaps of faith or when we take action, life becomes so much more fun, and then we have a lot more to actually talk about because experience is the greatest teacher. So today we're just going to be talking about my experience, and that started with this week me going to go see a movie, Now You See Me, Now You Don't 2. Now, if you didn't get a chance to see the first movie, I highly recommend you guys go see the first movie because it was pretty dope. And this is a great follow-up. It's a PG-13 movie, family-friendly movie, so you can go see it on Christmas with your family if you want to. But it's a really good movie. And I thought that it was kind of interesting that I went to go see a movie about magic, because the first week's video was about the tarot cards and things of that nature. But weirdly enough, in the movie Now You See Me, Now You Don't, the magicians were actually called back together through receiving a tarot card. Now, I had some reluctancy this week to even go see this movie. I really kind of had to force myself to go see this movie, and I actually took someone with me to see this movie because I didn't even want to see the movie by myself. So, through that experience, the universe rewarded me for actually taking the leap of faith, like I was speaking of in week 1 with the Fool. When we are oblivious, when we just follow our joy, our optimism, following our heart, the universe wants to speak to us. It wants to show us its magnificence. It wants to show us like, hey, I'm in every conversation you have. I'm in every thought that you have. And to believe that or to think that I'm not is absurd, but I'm going to show you. And I feel like I had to be shown that again by going to go see this movie. Now, in the movie Now You See Me, Now You Don't, it's about illusionist magic, like magicians who practice or they participate more in illusionary magic. But I feel as though that was still a great correspondence, because me personally, even when I went to go see the movie Now You See Me, Now You Don't, I wasn't thinking about, hey, I just talked about a video in regards to the tarots the week prior. I'm not thinking about all of those things. So that's why I feel like it's important for me to note these things before I even go into today's discussion, because I want to talk about the power of the subconscious mind in magic. Now, in Western culture, magic is looked at as demonic, is looked at as witchcraft, is looked at as evil, and with good reason. We are under magic every single day, from the food that we eat to the commercials that we watch to the movies we watch. Everything is a degree of magic. Someone is imposing their perspective onto you, whether it's positive, negative, true, or false. They're still imposing that into your mind. And when we understand the mind, and that's what I want to talk about in today's discussion more than anything, is mental magic. The mind is the foundation for manifestation. And the more one becomes aware of that phenomenon, then he has more control over what he or she manifests into their reality. So that's what I really want to highlight in today's topic, is how to manifest, how to become the magician of our reality through our subconscious mind. Now, like I said, I had no plans on being I had no plans on when I went to go see this movie that I was going to see tarot cards being thrown around in this movie. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, like, wow, what's the odds that I'm talking about tarot cards in a new series that I decided to start, and then the moment that I actually go to the movies, they're actually, using tarot cards and things of that nature. Mind you, I haven't even been practicing tarot divination or anything of that nature probably over the last 5 or 6 years. I haven't used a tarot deck. So there isn't any correlation or correspondence to tarot in my life. I just thought that it would be a great idea for my spiritual journey and experiences to start off the first week of the Christos Chronicles with the tarot. Now the universe said, okay, well, you want to use tarots. Well, we're going to put tarot decks in this movie, which is also about magic, and which also leads into the next card of the tarot, which is the Magician. Now, let's take a look at the Magician card in the tarot deck. Now, as I said in week 1, I'm not going to cover tarot on every week. I just think that this is the perfect follow-up for today's topic because what I experienced through the week. And I just thought it was pretty ironic that, hey, the next card following the Fool is the Magician. And I just so happened went to go see a movie about magic. So I said, hey, that's what week 2's video has to be about. It would be unorganic if I didn't make week 2 about the Magician tarot card due to my experiences this week. Now, with that being said, let's break down what the Magician tarot card actually means for us in our spiritual cultivation. The Magician is represented by the number 1. The number 1 represents the connection from the heavens to the earth. And as we see, the Magician is also holding up a candlestick to the heavens, and he also has one hand pointing down to the earth. So we can see that there is a strong correspondence and correlation between that because he's acknowledging a hermetic principle, which is as above, so below. The Magician understands what is written in heaven must manifest on earth, as it says in the Bible too as well. So the Magician is aware that he has the power to influence his reality on earth if he is in communion with the heavens. And like I said, a lot of times we're only taught one way to do this. We're taught, hey, just pray about it. Just do that. And it's like, that's fine. That's cool. But there are other ways that we can bring things into our reality that we desire through our subconscious mind. And that's what I really want to hit on through breaking down this card. We also see that there is an infinity sign above the Magician's head, like a figure 8. What this represents is the infinite energy, the infinite collective of ideas, thoughts, manifestations that are possible if the Magician taps into it. So this is the power that we all have. We all have the ability to pull from the collective conscious. This is where a lot of ideas come from. I remember there was a video where Michael Jackson said that anytime he got an idea about a song, he would instantly record it because he had a fear that Prince would get the idea and he would record it. So that goes to show you that, even creative people are aware of the infinite collective consciousness where ideas, thoughts, and things exist. The Magician also is seen with 4 elements on the table. Now, if you're not into the divination realm or the tarot, then you don't know what these symbols mean on the table, but I'm going to explain them to you. The Pentacle represents the earth element. The Chalice or the cup represents the water element. The sword represents the wind element. The wand represents the earth element. So we see that the Magician is aware of the 4 elements and he uses these elements to bring down manifestation. Now, you can look at this from a literal standpoint or an esoteric standpoint. Me personally, I look at it from an esoteric standpoint, meaning that the Magician is aware of how to use the seasons. Every season has an elemental correspondence, and the Magician becomes aware of the 4 seasons and how to evolve through each season. For example, right now we are in the season of fall, going into the season of winter, death. This is a great time for transformation. This is why in Western culture, many people make major or strive to make major strides and transformations from this time of year around December to January, February, March. And some people are successful, some people aren't. But it goes to show you how when one becomes aware of the elements, the seasons, and how to become in harmony with these things, one can make serious changes in one's life through their subconscious mind. And that's something that I've been able to do over the course of my spiritual journey, is make changes through my subconscious habits and nature. Now let's talk about what the actual subconscious is. The subconscious is 95% of our consumption in this reality and how we interact with the reality. It's your senses, it's your smells, it's your environment, it's the things you listen to, it's everything that you're taking in on a daily basis. So this is why it's important for us to have intention with what we are putting into our subconscious mind. For example, when you get on social media, a lot of people don't think that the imagery on social media has an influence on how they may want to show up in the world or what they value as important in life. But this is the power of the subconscious. This is personally why I don't follow anybody on social media. Not because I think that I'm better than anybody, but because I like to protect my subconscious mind from imagery that I don't want it to receive. Now, I'm not saying that you can have 100% filtering in everything in your reality, but when you are intentional, saying, hey, I'm going to be mindful of the music selections that I listen to. I'm going to be mindful of the type of food that I eat. I'm going to be mindful of the type of people that I surround myself with, because I'm aware that these things can rub off on me in a subconscious way. So that's all the magician becomes more aware of, is his subconscious mind and not being easily influenced by the world around him or her, but being able to influence the world around him or her. So this is what the magician represents in the tarot card, is our ability to take matters into our own hands. And you see that the magician is doing that with the candlestick in his right hand. And he's also pointing below, commanding with his left hand. So this is the representation of one of the Hermetic principles, which is as above, so below, commanding what is in heaven down to the earth. And that's really a power that we have as creatives, as co-creators with the creator, is our ability to manifest our reality based upon our desires, our intentions, what we truly want. So that's really what I wanted to highlight in today's video, guys, of the Magician Tarot card is, hey, a lot of things in our reality are going to manifest on a subconscious level, whether that's money, whether that's a career, whether that's an opportunity, but we have to be prepared. And we can't be surprised when these things manifest. We just need to go back and start looking at, hey, what am I putting into my subconscious mind? Because it does have an effect on what manifests in my reality. And I think that the more we pay closer attention to that, the more that we start to see this rings true. So that's today's video. The Magician. Now you see me, now you don't. I will see you all next week. If you want to get in contact with me, feel free to reach out to me via email. Until next time, guys and gals, wholeness.